Yep. Okay, here's something I've been aching to do for quite some time. I've always got something else going on, or Christmas or whatever. This is the air intake cowl floor for my car. I ordered this from Jaguar by Jorge out of San Diego, and it is a beautiful piece. Beautiful piece. I have every intention on modifying this though to allow for larger air intake at the bottom. Basically, where the X is there, and larger, I'm going to cut out a big square. I'm going to form a scoop so that air coming out of my custom front air dam that I'll be doing will be ported through the radiator and allow some better cooling. I know that everyone says that an MG with good radiator and flushed out blah 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 never overheats, but I've been reading everything else that says that's not quite true, so I'm going to offer my my little homunculus better cooling. So, with that stated, I've got a couple of different types of what do you call it, fiberglass. This stuff here, very coarse. It's thicker. I've used this to good effect on small repairs on my Triumph and MGB I had when I was much younger. And this stuff here, this stuff is eminently moldable and foldable and so forth. I've got a whole big, let me hit pause real quick. Whole big roll of this stuff. It's more or less this stuff here. So, you know, what I'm going to do is cut it up into a form like this, into a shape like this, put a whole bunch of resin onto my piece, and then put the form over it and let it kind of do its thing. I'll harden it, put on more layers, and layer it up. Before I do that, though, before I put a whole bunch of fiberglass and resin on this, I'm going to cover it up with this plastic here. I call this appliance saran wrap. I bought a stove recently, and this came with it, so I just kept the damn thing. And I'm going to make it such that this plastic doesn't allow for my my metal to get dorked up. I may keep this stuff. I may toss up this fiberglass thing and say I'll use this instead. But it's such a beautiful piece. I don't want to mess with it too much yet. And if I have if ever I sell my car and somebody wants to go back to original, well, there it is. Or I'll just resell or keep this. I'm not likely to sell my car anytime soon, but yeah. So I don't know if you know this, but there's another option people who do fiberglass have, and it's polyester fiber weave. Okay, and if you're doing a small section, the best piece of polyester I can think of is a dryer sheet. No kidding. A dryer sheet, once it comes out of the dryer and it's even washed a couple times more to get all the stuff out, and then ironed flat, makes for a very indestructible and high heat capacity kind of a weave. And with some fiberglass, it's very good. I'm going to do it on this one, but again, for smaller repairs or some spot repairs, it's not a bad option. All right, so now what do I do? I have God dang it, my mind is gone right now. I have cut out a couple of pieces of this stuff that are pretty close to the size and shape of this this floor. Let me move this. I have now taped this entire mat to the back of the back of this piece. Once all the fiberglass is done and set, I'll take this stuff off with either an X-Acto knife or a Dremel, and add more fiberglass to the reverse side. Okay, so my next step is to mix up a whole bunch of resin and apply it in as much of an even. It doesn't even need to be even, but apply it so that it soaks all the way through. Okay, this is the only sandwich layer I'm going to put on the outside of this this piece, because I don't want it to be too thick or too big to fit back into my car. Every subsequent piece that I do to this thing is going to be on the reverse side. So I've got a old, what is this thing, Rubbermaid, I guess, container, nice and clean, there's no grease in it. I'm going to start mixing up the resin, and I'm going to start applying it. I don't have I do have a camera somewhere, I don't know what the damn thing is, but maybe I'll take a video of that and you can watch it bit by bit by bit if I can find the damn thing. Okay, so this piece is done. While it's curing. By no means am I a pro at this, so there are some things I'm going to have to do when I'm finished. For example, all these little shards that are coming down, I'll need to cut those down. Once this has cured, let's see, do I want to? No. Once this has cured, I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to clean up the bits. I may put another layer of resin on top. Who knows? And trim it down. When it comes off this piece, it'll be a mirror image of what you're looking at. Again, I've got some cleanup to do, but yeah, not too awfully bad there. Sawhorses sure have seen some great campaigns, taking these things through war and back, and Fiats and Mercedes, a Triumph, all kinds of stuff. So the fact that they've got some fiberglass on them, I couldn't give a shit. And there's my little Fuji that I'm using to monitor this stuff. So hopefully within 15-20 minutes I'll be able to feel, actually, why do I care? In 2 hours I'll be able to turn this thing over when it's fully cured and show you what I've gotten with so far. Alright, and we are done. Let's take a look at the other side. Okay. So as you can see, I taped the, what do you call it? I taped the fiberglass to the edges here. And it's not bad. That's paint. Not a big deal. God, I could take a pair of scissors, knock all that crap down, take it off. I think I'll do that. And here's the final product. I've done a little bit of trimming, as you can see here. This was maybe a 5-minute trim job. And not bad. So what I intend to do, I'm going to add more layers to this, but from the inside, from this level here, so that the outsides are gosh darn close to what the original piece was. You know, I don't know why I thought this, but that plastic didn't necessarily save me from fiberglass on the original piece, or maybe it just isn't thick enough or whatever. But it looks like the fiberglass kind of nibbled into the plastic I put down and didn't necessarily take it easy on it. So if I do this again, I may think of a different means of doing it. I've got some kind of crappy back, what do you call it, fenders here, wings if you're English, with either some repairs I've got to do, or I may just try and see what it's like to mimic that entire shape. Maybe. Anyway, that's far in the future. I'm more concerned about this. I'm not displeased at all, and this thing is light as hell, very, very light. Again, this is my fiberglass piece. See, it's kind of bendy. That'll go in here. I'm going to try my hand at doing some custom work, a custom scoop. That's to go with my front air dam, but I don't want to necessarily screw up the really nice piece I bought from San Diego. So I'm gonna wait overnight actually to let this cure totally. I guess I could start adding some more innards to it, but honestly I just want to go to bed. I'm kind of tired. Dinner caught up to me and I got puppy tummy now. So there we go. I'm not unhappy.